Code Geass is probably the most Shakespearean TV show in the history of all time. It's the most Shakespearean anime ever, and anime likes British things. It really, really adores British things. I don't know why, but it just... I mean, all you need to look at, to do is look at Cold Case, which in German I used to watch as Detective Conan, to find one of the most long-running anime ever is about fucking quasi Sherlock Holmes as a little kid. Sort of. Anyway, Code Geass is the story of an outcast prince who, in the middle of a terrible, violent situation where his father's forces are hurting the people around him, where he is about to die, he gets a chance to live. A powerful witch grants him power. He strikes a deal with her, and he has to fulfill his Geass. That's basically it. If you've never seen this show, what planet are you from? If you have seen this show, if you think about all the big moments, Geass affects them. Now, if someone out there hasn't seen this show yet, which, how could you have not seen Code Geass? I literally, the first time I watched the first season with subtitles, and I read through all those subtitles because at the time I'm a slow reader, so I decided to browse through the subtitles of the entire show, so anime subtitles, whatever. First time I watched it, I watched the first season with subtitles. Read just space, moment by moment. And the second season I watched in English. The second time I watched the series, I did the exact same thing. First season subtitles, second season in English. Now the last 2 or 3 times I watch it from time to time, whole arcs, like 7 or 8 episodes. I've watched it a minimum of 2 times in its entirety in English. Possibly 4 to 5 times after the original 2. So, I've watched it half a dozen times. For those of you who don't want spoilers, Bazinga or something. Okay. Spoiler talk. My view on the entire story of Geass is that ultimately it comes down to the Geass changing fate itself in order to force someone into fulfilling their contract. Whether they want to or not, the contract is there, and if you stray away, the Geass punishes you. Now, whether that's a thing or it's not a thing, at the end of the show, either way, it made sense. It made sense, people. It made sense because we know how powerful Geass is. We know what Lelouch does. We know that Lelouch had to die in order to ensure that the last bit of power went away. It would be irresponsible if in the first season Lelouch comes back with his power. It would only make sense if the Geass fulfillment led to him gaining immortality. That's it. Okay? Third season, people, don't fuck this up. Do not fuck this up. Let me put it to you this way. You know the first episode. The entire first episode. I've actually made this joke before. Wait for the second minute and imagine me saying, "Cast, state your goal and purpose in life." And the rest of the series is an exploration of the exact fucking thing. All the characters in that episode just outright state what their mentality, what their goal in the story is gonna be. If you pay attention to Lelouch at that moment, first off, of course, he got those nightmares. You know those nightmares from the train? He didn't just find them. He had them, and they were unmarked, and they were his because of plans he had made in his regular life. That's the thing. You can miss it. I missed it the first 4 times, but then I got it. When he's talking to the Dean, I'm pretty sure that old guy from the chest scene, that's the Dean, whatever. He had them, right? So he's depressed about not having the power, and he's moving slowly, and he knows that he's above the world, and the world is petty and pathetic and whatever. And only when we get to the second episode do we get the Nonali Foundation. The I want to change this world to make it a better place for my sister foundation. That's very important because it's a key difference between wanting to change the entire world and striking a contract of changing the entire world, becoming the king, and changing the world for his sister to be pleasant. Remember, at the end of the first season, he was like, if I told you to kill all Japanese... That's the key, Geass punishing him, changing destiny to punish Lelouch, okay? That is what it is. Changing destiny to punish Lelouch. If you think about it from the very start, he wants the power to change the world, to become the king of the world. Suzaku gets in trouble. He saves him. Suzaku is a moron. He leaves him. He leaves Lelouch. Next, His friends are in trouble. He wants to save them, so he decides to create a goal for his, up to that point, terrorist organization. As a result of this, they become quasi-noble, right? Quasi-noble. They have a reputation of being noble knights. But when he does when he continues with the supposedly noble knights to defend Japanese people, the remaining Japanese army, he gets immediately after saying this great noble ideal thing, he gets shut down by the consequences of the mountain battle. He gets shut down when he learns that he accidentally killed his loved one's family. War isn't simple. War has brutality and things in it. Now, a lot of people don't get the next part because what the fuck? The crazy glasses guy, C2's adopted son / fanboy, he's not just an example of what Charles v. Britannia might do to the world. He's also an example of how a person's personal goal and a person's contract are two different things. A person's Geass is different from their core motivation. A core motivation is not a Geass. You have the power to read everyone's thoughts, but you don't have the core motivation, the power to fulfill your core motivation. You don't have the power to get what you want. You have the power to get what was promised. Okay? It's not like guiding angels or whatever. It's consequences and deals. When Lelouch wants to choose Suzaku as Nali's knight while he continues on to conquer the world or whatever, he gets shocked. Oh my God, Suzaku is already a knight to my other sister. Oh my God, everything. Princess Massacre. What the fuck? Everything, and on and on and on it goes. So, Lelouch gets woken up. He can easily kill Rollo after his collapse, after everything. Killing Rollo or manipulating him further, not necessary. Killing him and leaving his past behind seems like the logical thing to do, right? What kind of an insane, crazy person would continually stay in the school in his country where he knows the enemy can catch him any moment? It simply defies logic, it defies reason, and it endangers his plans for the future. I mean, Sure, he wants to save Japan, but Japan is a small part of everything, right? Saving those millions of people, those 1 million people, it's all his personal goal leaking into his mission. And the consequences of this were most brutal because you might be thinking, oh, 180 turn when his identity was revealed, when everything happened and he was like, no, Rollo, don't die. But the reality is, Lelouch lied to Suzaku about intentionally killing his sister because of his core motivation. He doesn't want to deny his blame and things. And that nobility creates, as a consequences, the idea of him as a villain. The destiny around him punishes him. The Geass fate punishes him. When Rollo dies, right before he dies, he reveals that he has good in him. So, as a result of that, Lelouch completely goes 180 because he doesn't want to, because he recognizes that he's a broken thing. Not that he's a malicious person, but that he is a mutated, made bizarre person. He is the victim in this world of Geass. And it's that moment when Rollo dies that cements Lelouch's path in the rest of the second season. His path to taking over the world and dying at the end. That's it. Okay? That is it. That's the soul of this series, and I hope nobody out there making the third season forgets this. This is very important. Please remember this analysis. Remember what I just told you. It's incalculably important that this fact, the duality between the deal and the personal motivation, stays. Okay?